Hi, everybody. Hello, Lily.
Hi, Laurie.
How's it going? Where are you in the world?
I am in Indianapolis right now.
How is it over there?
It's actually quite good. I know we were just chatting earlier, and I was saying I was really impressed in terms of how Indiana handled everything with the coronavirus and their response. And so we've just been hunkered down for the past couple months, which I cannot believe a couple months have passed already. And it's still a bit surreal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, it feels like the world kind of flipped upside down, but everybody's handling it the best they can. So I'm happy about that for sure. If it's cool with you, I'm just gonna dive right into it. Um, I know, unlike many sports, gymnastics is nearly impossible to train outside of the gym. So, with clubs around the country closed due to coronavirus restrictions, like so many athletes, many gymnasts are struggling with the loss of the physical and the social outlet that gymnastics normally provides. So, what advice can you give to the young people in our community that are missing their sport and their gym families during this time?
Well, I think it's important to acknowledge and validate what they're going through, that this is a really hard time for them and for others around them. And as you mentioned, it's really difficult that they don't have the community. And on top of that, gymnastics is such a really physically demanding and a mentally demanding sport. And I think it's okay to really allow gymnasts the space to rest and recover. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a really, really good thing in terms of rest and recovery. And I think it's also good to let them know they're not alone in this. This is impacting a lot of other people, not just themselves. And I think that, gymnasts will struggle with it in different ways, given their individual personalities. But I think that it is just really important for them to utilize the resources at their disposal. So we have a bunch of resources at our webpage, which can talk about more a little bit later. But if you get to usagym.org, you'll see some resources there.
I think that's awesome. I mean, have you gotten like a lot of feedback in terms of a lot of athletes having to stop their sports and I guess just a lot of people reaching out on what's happening? Has that been a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, most of the gymnasts haven't been able to train. There have been a few, it seems like, that the states have stayed open, but not many. The vast majority have been, the gyms have been closed. And I know that you're in this situation right now as well, that you haven't trained for a little bit. And I just can't imagine when I was training, 3 days off was a long period of time now, let alone several months off is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm not even gonna lie, it's felt a little bit nerve-wracking. I think also basically what I had wrapped up in the question, the fact that we're so used to working out so often and then it's like the rug is kind of swept out from underneath you. So I think a lot of people, a lot of athletes, a lot of gymnasts can relate to that, and I'm glad that we're able to talk about that today. Something else that I wanted to talk about, it's a little bit of an elephant in the room. So now I know in my case, earlier this year I was able to go ahead and I guess share a statement kind of with the world, which is terrifying. Um, and that was due to a hearing that happened earlier this year. In my own opinion, it happened 4 years too late. However, I did notice that you guys did the right thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked. But you did the right thing. And I think that's important for everybody to acknowledge. But now, some of the mental health challenges that gymnasts face, of course, national team and Olympians are unfortunately included. They are amplified by the sports history and the sports culture. So now, out of curiosity, what is USA Gymnastics doing to change the longstanding subculture within our community that has continued to tolerate abusive coaching? Because I can only speak for my case. My experience still feels very raw and very emotional. Um, but having done gymnastics for a little over a decade, it's definitely something that I had to deal with. And I know, unfortunately, a lot of my best friends had to deal with it as well. And I want to know what you guys are able to do about that and what you plan on doing
Right.
forward now.
Well, firstly, thank you for your bravery and your courage in terms of speaking up. I think it's really important for gymnasts to do that, because if they don't do that, we don't know what's going on. We actually rely on the community to let us know what's going on. And so thank you for doing that. I think it's crucially important for others to do it as well, and hope they follow suit. I do think, and I know you mentioned this subculture within the sports, and I think, well, firstly, we also have to acknowledge our organization's role in it, in that historically we have allowed that kind of behavior. We have allowed abusive coaching. We actually have even rewarded it in the name of winning in the past. But this is a new era. We will not reward it. We will not tolerate it. I think it's really important that we make that stand. I think we also need to educate the community in terms of how to recognize abuse, how to report it. And I also think it's important to provide educational resources to the community in terms of helping them understand development, psychological and physical development of youth. We have actually partnered up with PCA, Positive Coaching Alliance, to develop tools, to develop materials and content out there to help educate the community. And we're looking forward to rolling those things out.
I think that's awesome. Honestly, for someone kind of on the outside of it, not quite on the outside, but as an athlete, I really appreciate that you acknowledge that it was rewarded and that you acknowledge that it happened, because I think in the past we've all seen it kind of like, oh no, we don't do that, we don't tolerate that, but then it was still tolerated. So the fact that you're acknowledging it, it feels like a very important step, and I'm grateful that you were, even wanting to come on here and talk to me about it. I think that's important for people to see. So thank you. I'm excited to see. I think everybody's really excited to see what USAG does next and how we're able to take care of our athletes. So yay.
I hold ourselves accountable, and it is about a shared commitment by the entire community. So we have to set the tone of that, and that we know it's not going to be easy to shift, basically have cultural transformation within the sport, but we're committed to doing that for the sake of the sport and the sake of the athletes as well.
I can't wait to see it. So now, kind of to go ahead and wrap up the interview a little bit, what types of mental health resources that you had mentioned earlier are available from USA Gymnastics now, and how can gymnasts, or really any athlete, parent, or coach that might be watching, how can they go ahead and access them?
Mm-hmm. So if you go to our website, usagym.org, there is a link to basically, it's called Coronavirus Updates. And within that Coronavirus Updates page, there are several resources, be it videos, webinars, documents related to mental health. You can follow our Safe Sport webpage or follow our Safe Sports social account. On our website, we also have webinars. So for example, one topic of a webinar that we have on our website is identifying the difference between abusive coaching and tough coaching. And then in addition to that, the relationship with the Positive Coaching Alliance, we have rolled out content with them, and we actually will be rolling out more content with them. So in fact, our two first workshops, virtual workshops, will be taking place next week. One is, the topic is about, it's called double goal coaching. So coaching for winning and life lessons. And the other workshop is for club owners in terms of how to lead your organization. And then after that, we're going to be developing content for parents and athletes. We'll be rolling out parent content really shortly. Actually, it was supposed to happen now, but with COVID, everything's been pushed back a little bit. But you'll see something in the pipeline with parents really soon.
That sounds amazing. I'm sure everybody listening is grateful that you were able to talk to me today. I'm grateful that I got to talk to you. So thank you so much for everything. I'm going to go ahead and toss it to Mary. This is awesome. I hope everybody's staying safe. Yay!